Morning. This is Our Generation with the Times newspaper, and my first interview of the new podcast is with Steve from Adriene's. How
Thank
are
you.
you?
You're fine, thank you.
Good. So,
Good.
how long have you been in business?
The business has been here about 43 years.
43
We've
years.
been here about 35. So I'm just getting started.
Yeah. So, you've always been in Noblesville?
Oh, yeah. Born and raised here.
Okay.
People talk about the old hospital. That was where I was born.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
ties across everywhere. My
Yeah.
great uncle lived next door in what they call the Craig house, which moves across the street. My grandfather was born and raised in the other house across the street, which is Debbie's daughter's now. Cookies, and so we've been here a long time.
Yeah. I love it. I love Noblesville. I got introduced about probably 10 years ago when I started working for the newspaper.
Sure.
And I just fell in, I love this still has that old town feel.
Yes.
Everybody knows each other. So what made you get into flowers? You have beautiful flowers,
Well,
beautiful plants.
thank you. My start with my in-laws. They had bought the shop for a former daughter-in-law, and who left the family. So uh, my background really was I left Purdue with a teaching degree. So I taught at Tipton in the junior high for 4 years.
Okay.
And it was exciting because the kids were, it's a farming community, and I felt that they needed to know more than just how to do these things, but of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
The cuts of meat, um, weeds, uh, things of landscaping, and all the across the board. So we did all these kind of things. We even did corsages, and you can't lose when you do a corsage for Mother's Day. That son comes home with a little corsage,
Oh,
and mom
yeah.
is just,
Right.
and so I even had fifth grade teachers in elementary school. What, come and teach our kids how to do that? I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to send my football players down to eighth graders and have them show these
Oh,
kids how to do it.
I
So
love
it
that.
was a good situation. So after 4 years, my dad said, I need to come back to the farm. So we farmed in White River Township and Wayne Township, and about 3,000 hogs a year produced and out the door. And I had Angus beef cattle. And after a period of time, it was, things were getting rough. My dad was got up in years, and so I think it was we need to do something else, and we need to shut the farm down, whatever. So it continued to operate for a number of years after we left the farm. But I was looking for something to do. And I'd come in here different times on weekends and help, and also uh, had to do my first casket spray for a church member.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
snowed in, and everything else. So I had to talk. The gal from Sheridan had to talk me through it, how to get through it, and the whole bit. Anyway,
Oh,
so it
wow.
was exciting, and I like to talk to people and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was just a natural fit, and we enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
and taking classes along the way, so it just wasn't experimentation. It was
Okay.
learning a few things and good friendships and stuff along the way. So
Yeah.
and my wife, of course, involved from day one, and so it's been great. We got a great team that I was out of commission last year at Valentine's Day. My wife took care of things,
Oh,
and the
wow.
other team members just pitched in, and it ran as if nope. Some days I think I
Just
shouldn't even
stay
show
home.
up. Shouldn't even
I know,
come
but
by.
that's what ultimately to have a business is for you to be able to step away if you have to
Hmm.
and it continue to run.
Yeah,
And so you've got that longevity of now you've been able to build it to where it can
yeah.
be
And
sustainable.
different people come in here, So yellow roses again. Yeah. Well, not this time. We'll wait for the anniversary. How many? 59. Okay, So
Yeah,
these things that
yeah.
touch base.
I love that. My dad, for their 50th, he got my mother 50 long stem roses.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had the mayor years ago, Joe Butler, and he'd 30, 47, 48 for 950. I said, Joe, what'd you do next year? One. So it was a hoot. So
That's funny. So what's your favorite piece of this? Like, what's your favorite thing to
I,
do?
I, I sadly enough, I like doing funeral work because expression is there. Design, I can stretch a little bit. And I think we know our clientele enough that some days, we can kind of stretch and do something. I don't want to say strange and different, but it's not the usual, and they accept that or let us do that. So it I think makes us stand out in the crowd, and we're going to looking at different things all the time, going for new designs, new ideas, and I get involved in Facebook friends, these things, and it's interesting to see what everybody else is doing, how they're doing it, and stuff. Like we got the uh, Princess Ball coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh.
The city does, and so it's one of those things that we like doing the corsages. But this is a corsage we're going to suggest that you and your dad have for the father-daughter dance.
Yeah.
Instead of, because that's one thing. Then you go years down the road, you get to prom. That's a little more special, and then
Yeah.
then you go a few more years and you got the wedding. That's a little more special yet. So
Yeah.
it's us giving advice and direction, I guess, across the board. We've had enough of that knowledge and stuff down the road that somebody came in the other day, 2 days ago, and she ordered some for her uh, sister-in-law, and she wanted to put the last name. I said, no, no, don't put the last name on the card, just the two of you. And then we got down to the second set of names, and she wanted to put husband first, which is fine. But I said, no, you're related to the deceased. Let's flip that around so people won't get confused. So I know why you're doing what we're doing. So it's a help for people.
Yeah.
And we're not just order takers.
Yeah.
We're salesmen, and I think we're selling and giving them advice and help.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I love that. It's an experience. It's just not just it's down to those fine details.
I tried not to get my foot in my mouth, but I try to. When the moms come in to order son's corsage for prom, I thought, this is his great opportunity to come in and experience how to do this and feel comfortable and everything that mom's doing. I thought, oh, okay, fine.
Moms, we tend to do everything.
Yes, that's right.
So how many kids do you have?
We have three.
Okay.
Oldest son is a meteorologist climatologist, teaches at Eastern Illinois, and Charleston, and that brings up the fact that his town is the university sits right on the state road, goes east and west through Charleston, and 8 blocks or 10 blocks north of that is the square, and it's dead as a door now.
Oh no!
And people complain about the traffic here. Well, if we didn't have the traffic,
yeah,
we wouldn't have a downtown.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think more traffic than ever. We could survive this. And my dad years ago said, "I'll bring my scoop tractor and we'll just pull those parking meters out of the city, get them," because they still complain about traffic back then. They probably complained about when they had the horses and buggies.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So daughter is in Indianapolis, and her son is working for us in here. She's going to Ivy Tech, and he does a good job. He's very good with customers and stuff. Though he won't tell you that, but it's okay. And then the younger son is in Bloomington, and he's golf pro at Harrison Lake Country Club, which is halfway between Nashville and Columbus. Okay. And so that's his forte. And somebody says they're going to have the kids take over. No, they got their own jobs. Yeah. They got their own likes and dislikes. Yeah. So
has any of them ever expressed any interest in?
No.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
They worked in here and said, "That's not for me, Dad." And I understand that. We had a shop in town years ago that the grandparents were my grandparents' age, and then they gave it to the parents of about my parents' age, and then the grandkids, a little younger than I am, took it over after Mom and Dad had it, and it wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
You can't sustain a business that is passed down because you lose that enthusiasm or joy or something.
Absolutely.
And so my joy is not the same as anybody else's.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you think of building a business, you think of, oh, I want to create this for my family. Yeah. They're going to take it over, but everybody is their own person, and they may not like flowers, and that's okay. And I don't want you taking over.
Yeah, and worse today is the fact that we go all different directions. We got Illinois to Indianapolis to Columbus and down that way. So they're all spread out, and it's a task just to get family together. I know when my grandparents, my cousins lived here. We had 5 cousins, and the 3 of us. And once a month, I'm sure we went out to one of the local restaurants, and it was that we don't have that anymore. We're gonna have to force ourselves into pulling together and making it get together.
Yeah, that's one thing I do miss about kind of they say the old days. It's
Yeah.
just the things are so fast paced now that
Mm-hmm.
it's so difficult to just slow down and get together.
I thought I'd slow down this week, and I thought, gosh, I got things to do. I can't get it done. You
I
know, trying
know.
to take
Yeah.
some time off and do things, but
Yeah.
it's okay. We'll make it through it.
Yeah.
I'll take time off another week.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, next week. So what's your favorite place to go in Noblesville?
Well, I do a lot of breakfast because I like to get out and see people.
Yeah.
So different days, you know, it could be Chick-fil-A, it could be um, Uptown for sure, Rosie's, Erica's, um, Ginger's.
Yes,
That
yes.
Ginger's is tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, I love that.
On a Thursday. So anyway, you're seeing different people, and we got a lot going on here.
Yeah.
You know, I raised a did some carry out on Friday night from Grindstones. Marvelous meal, and it's a lot of, you know, the guy that owns the building and uh, church members are there and different people. You know, it's just,
Yeah.
you know, so it's great that you run into these people that you know and whatever. It's really sad when I go to Applebee's. The usual. Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay though. It reminds me of what was that sitcom Cheers?
Yeah, sure.
Where they know your name. Like
yeah, that's right.
Everyone wants to be able
to.
to.
About Sid's, you know.
Yeah, I heard Sid's redid it inside.
Yes, they did. Very nice.
I haven't been in there.
New owners, and I saw Ricky a couple of days ago, the former owner, and he said likes his retirement.
Good.
And they did a nice job opening it up more, so it's family friendly, the whole building instead of just the back end.
Okay.
And they also have a bourbon bar upstairs, I believe.
Oh, okay, nice.
So, and then we got a new one coming in on the south side of the square. That's going to be, and there's music at about 5 places anymore downtown. So you can go any place, anytime during the week and find some music.
Nice.
And your meal and a good beverage. You know?
Yeah.
So
I love that. And you know, with Mayor Jensen, you know, he's brought a lot of changes, but I still feel like you still like you said, you still have that old time feel where you go downtown and you still feel like half the people on the street I'm gonna know.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't, but that's okay. That's what's good. And but yeah, you're right. You know, I found that Grindstones was a lot of old time Noblesville and newer people too, but still people I knew. And then you go to Applebee's and you don't know anybody out there or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been good. We got enough places to go and bring people in. Exciting. They come in here and say, well, we're just stopping by. I said, okay, have you gone to breakfast or lunch or something? And so I make suggestions.
Yeah.
You know, I said, try this. You know, oh, we've done that. That's really neat. You know.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah, I love it. So you're going to be at the Taste of Business.
Yes.
I mean, how long have you done that? Ever since they started it, right?
Yeah, from the very beginning.
And has it what been 10?
I don't know.
It's
been a good while.
I remember when they first started over at the fairgrounds.
Yes.
They had their first couple ones there, and now it's at the beautiful Embassy.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yes, it is.
So every year you do something different. So what has been how can I word this? What has been the most funnest? Is that a word? Is that a word? Funnest.
We had one of our high school students helped one year. They've always helped some. Even son and his girlfriend 2 years ago, they get a set located pretty close to the DJ, and they started dancing in the middle and brought other people out to help dance, and that was fun. Then we had one of our students. We had a quiz, and it was rough weather or something, and the students asked the superintendent if tomorrow we're getting off because of the weather. They said, no, we're not getting off. So people feel very comfortable in talking to us and working with us, and I'm not sure. Again, you asked earlier what we're going to do this year. I have no idea.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
And it's one of those things that my inspiration sometimes comes at 2 a.m.
It's so funny. Mine does too.
And somebody said today, well, did the rain wake you up? No, it just usually, I'm up to this time anyway.
Yeah, yeah, that wind was it bad here? Because I live in Indianapolis, and that wind was.
It was something going on, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see people and stuff. You can see different clientele, ones you don't usually see, or if they're on the phone, but you don't get to talk to them. And it's just a fun time.
It is.
And Bob Du Bois does a nice job, and got Tom Marquette out there also that really pull it together, and all his team that
Oh yeah, it's
does
an
a nice
amazing
job.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a really good job.
We're very fortunate to have the Embassy Suites.
Yes.
Because that's where they're doing the Princess Ball this year.
Oh,
For the
nice.
father-daughter dance.
I love that.
And it's like the Taste of Business, and 2 days later is the
Okay. When
Princess
is the
Ball.
Taste of Business?
14th,
March
I believe.
14th.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thursday.
Thursday. I will definitely be there to check everybody out. And
Very fun.
so you've been in business for 40 some years.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot over business.
Oh, for sure.
So what is there like a tip or anything that you could share with new business owners that?
Well, I think that the thing that we found during Valentine's Day, we were on designer Terry and myself keep looking at the Facebook friends on Facebook and stuff, and florist, and how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you can't. You have to go experience it and try it yourself to make it work, make it your own. And I think that's the biggest thing. So just because you've got a pot full of money that, oh, I think I'd like to do this. I think what happened during the pandemic was a lot of people did their own gardens. Mm-hmm. And so then they said, well, what am I going to do now? Oh, I'm going to become a florist and use my skills, which were not developed, I don't think. I years ago we had those design qualities, of design techniques of balance and harmony and a focal point and all these different things going on, and you got almost learn the basics before you can do the strange and different. Mm-hmm. Because I think in my design you see those elements of design, though they may be covered up or they're subtle, but they're still there. Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff that comes out, it's like, oh my gosh, people, is that what you know? Really? And it's so it's a new age and a lot of things going on. We get a lot of new flowers in, a lot of different things are being developed all the time. And so that's exciting. I try something that is a little, I won't say strange and different, but out of the ordinary. Mm-hmm. So we can pull it in and do something different. The same with the design. Mm-hmm. We can't do, some of the things I'd like to do, they're not accepted. So I have to hold off a little bit and try it another time maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes.
What's your favorite flower?
People have asked me that, and I've got different ones. Depends on the mood, I guess. Mm-hmm. The tropicals are always neat. We've had a little trouble getting tropicals the last half a year, just the chain of what's going on and whether they're available or not. Depends on the hydrangeas are great. Mm-hmm. It's good to see tulips right now.
Yeah, I got you.
And so that spring look, and it's always good to see Christmas and the greens and stuff. And then you're ready after December the 20th. You're ready to see something different.
Yeah.
And then you go to red and white, and it's like, so it depends on the mood of the day, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. What's your favorite color? Is that a mood too?
Yeah. I think what's been like that, not because I'm old, but it's so funny going to church and older ladies, and they say, "Let me see your tie. Let me see your tie," and the flowers up front of the altar. Anytime the pink and lavender and the green, those things, they say, "Oh, the flowers are really nice today." Well, I think I'm getting that age where I like that purple, hot pink, the green, and so those are so soothing, but got a little pump to it, punch. So it's good.
I love that. So where you see you're gonna be here till the wheels fall off?
Yeah. Well, we are in the process of trying to find an owner that we can step back and sell the business and or the building. And we've done a lot of upgrading the building the last 2 years, and it seems to function much better. We had the opportunity to put a new furnace and hot water heater in the cold of December.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Oh my!
Yeah.
It never happens when it's supposed to.
No. So anyway, but I feel good with where we're at, what we're doing, and we talked about SIDS, and Ricky said, "When are you going to sell?" I said, "Well, I've got to find the right person." He said, "Well, if I find somebody with the right money, I'm going to do it." Well, for some reason, I think this is a little different than selling beer.
Yeah.
It's selling emotion. It's selling, and I've had
It's a
a couple,
brand. It's a
yeah.
name. Adriene's like that. That carries weight in the
And
community.
if it doesn't continue on that way, at least I hope it continue on so that the customers would not see much of a difference.
Right.
And it's just like McDonald's and Ray Kroc had those potatoes, and he said, the French fries here, this location is not the same as the ones over here. So they grew potatoes for everybody, the same one. So the same kind of thing here. We do different things, but it's got to have the same quality, the same look, the same feel, and the same empathy with our customers.
Yeah. So if you were to sell, will you just walk away, or will you still want to have
Well,
a
it depends
little?
on the situation. I
Yeah.
mean, I enjoy the funeral work, and the other designer says, well, you can always come back and just do the funeral work. Well, I think it depends on who owns it, who buys it, and stuff. Because I really think it's best when somebody sells something, they get out.
Yeah.
And because they're not going to do exactly what we did, and they shouldn't. Um, just as long as
And you want to be over there cringing like,
yeah,
oh my God, they did that. That would not have done that.
Yeah, I know. So it's best to step back and let their creative juices run and go from there. So I'm not sure how quick this is happening. We're not dire straits to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But just find the right person and stuff. You never know.
Yeah. Do you have any plans like once that happens, like you want to travel or you want to do anything or?
Probably, I'd like to get out of here some, because my wife always says it's like a dairy farm. You just really have to be here the whole time to milk the cows. And the same with the flowers, I think, to some extent. But anyway, because I was a teacher before, I really think I've still got a love for teaching, and I'd love to go back to Heights or Southeastern because they've got both good ag programs.
They do.
And do a short day for the kids of how to do flower arrangements.
That'd be fun.
I think we've almost shot ourselves in the foot because how's the business going? Well, it's just kind of down the mouth about it. Instead of being upscale, and we've kind of killed a lot of good people that could have been doing this. But they don't sound very encouraging. Right. So I can see that as a possibility. Volunteer work towards a hospital course, all those kind of things.
Stuff that you want to do that you just don't have time right now. Yeah. And it's important to be able to not get out, but kind of get out before while you still have some life in you.
Yeah, that's right.
To be able to do those things.
Because I noticed that as time goes on, I can do not what I used to do, and not do it as quickly.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Well, thank you for interviewing with me. I love learning about you and your journey and just Adriene's and what it means to you. It's a beautiful facility, and
thank you.
You're open 7 days a week?
No. Oh. We take the day off on Sunday.
Good.
Even Valentine's Day, we didn't even come to work on it. We got everything worked ahead of time.
Oh, nice.
And that's what this team does. Prepare ahead of time and
absolutely
make it work smarter, not harder.
Oh, yes, that definitely. So what's your website where people can find you?
adriensflowers@hotmail.com.
adriensflowers@hotmail.com.
That's not right.
That's your email. But that's still, you need that. So if they want to.
So it's adriensflowers.com.
Adriene's Flowers. And how do you spell Adriene?
ADRIENES.
Yes.
Flowers.
Yes. Yep. All right.
And there are some, the bad thing with some of this is the fact we have a lot of order gatherers. You look at Noblesville florists, you'll see Ava's, Flowers from You, 3 or 4 others that are just taking an order from you, and then they ship it to somebody else. We've had somebody come in here and say, well, I got this on my website, on your website. It wasn't our website.
Oh, wow.
And they said, we can't do it for that money because they take it cheap and shove it to somebody else. And the bad part is, my concern always is the fact that how many different places has it been before we looked at it? And someone said, well, I ordered this a week ago, and it's always our fault. So, but we just try to keep away from the order gatherers.
Gotcha.
And
so can they go straight to your website?
Oh, for sure. Oh, yes. It's just that the others look very similar to ours.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure I put your website in the description.
Thank you. Well, thanks for coming by.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day.
We'll do.